latest news update from Western Mass News.
I'm Chris Pisano with a look at your headlines. Campus leaders at American International College addressing the future of a building that was heavily damaged by a fire Thursday evening. The college's president saying a strike of lightning caused the fire, which quickly spread and engulfed the roof of the health science building. Up to 500 students are in AIC's health science program, and they will be relocated when the fall semester begins next month. A police officer injured Friday morning following a house fire on Doran Street in Chicopee. The fire happening just before 3:30 a.m. Flames could be seen shooting out of the roof and the right-hand side of that house. A police officer who arrived before fire crews was injured and taken to the hospital for evaluation. No one else was injured, and the cause remains under investigation. The Department of Public Health confirming a second mosquito is tested positive for West Nile virus in Pittsfield. The sample was taken in the vicinity of Elm Street and William Street. There's currently no confirmed human cases of the virus in Pittsfield. Residents are encouraged to continue taking personal protective measures to avoid bites, such as wearing long pants, a long sleeve shirt, and socks.
I'm meteorologist Jana Brown with a check of your forecast. Tomorrow we've got a first alert weather day for a low severe weather risk. Now we'll start off in the morning with a chance for a few showers. Incredibly humid, almost tropical feeling out there, and temperatures could manage to get back into the middle and upper 80s despite only seeing a little bit of sunshine. Now, once we hit the afternoon, we may get some breaks of sun that will help to destabilize things. And as a cold front approaches from the north and west, scattered showers and thunderstorms are expected through dinner time. After that, things will start drying out and clearing out. And believe it or not, we go into a stretch of pretty nice weather that's going to last through at least Wednesday of next week. So Sunday and Monday, we'll have a mix of sun and clouds, high temperatures around 80. Dew points will be comfortable in the 50s. And at night, we continue to trend cooler. Looks like the coolest nights will come Monday night, Tuesday night, and possibly even Wednesday night. Midweek, we're talking highs in the upper 70s, very dry and almost refreshing. Dew points will start ticking back up toward the end of the week, and we have our next cold front coming in Friday with a chance for showers and storms. But it doesn't look like that pattern lingers. We're back to dry conditions by next weekend.
Stay with Western Mass News on air, online, and on our app throughout the day for breaking news, weather, and exclusive content.